All right, so page 5 in your packet, algebraically prove. And we talked on Friday, what I'm looking for with algebraically prove is you have to show me that the one side is definitely equal to the other side. And the way we do that, we start off by drawing our vertical line down from where the equal sign is, and we need to choose a side to work on. And we're probably going to work on the left side because that's what we've been doing, is factoring. So you look at the left side. How many terms are on the left side? 6. Any GCF? No. So you're telling me there's no GCF and there's an even amount of terms. That usually tells me grouping. So I'm going to group these first 2, next 2, and the final 2. So you actually have 3 pairs here that you're going to group. Now take a GCF very carefully out of each of them. First one you could take an x squared out of. And you're left with x squared minus 4. Done. Next one, make sure, again, you want to take a GCF out, so you're left with x squared minus 4. Some of you guys may want to take out a 2 here. But if I take out a 2, I'm not going to be left with x squared minus 4. I'm going to be left with the opposite, negative x squared plus 4. So instead, take out a negative 2x. Then I'll be left with x squared minus 4. It's got to be a negative 2x, not a positive x. And then out of the next one, same thing. You have to take a GCF out, so you're left over with x squared minus 4. And the only thing I can do here is negative 8. X squared minus 4. All right, keep going with grouping. You see what is common in every single part here. X squared minus 4. Does everyone see that's common in all 3? Take it out now. And in one parenthesis, not 2 different ones, but one parenthesis, write in what's left over. So the first one, I take out x squared minus 4. I'm left with x squared. Next one, take out x squared minus 4. I'm left with negative 2x. Final one, take out the x squared minus 4 minus 8. We're all good so far. Does that look like the right side yet? Not even close. That tells you you need to keep going. All right, the final side, the final step should look like this on the right. Not even close yet. So you know you need to keep factoring. So x squared minus 4, we've done this a ton already. I'm not going to waste time anymore. That's difference of 2 perfect squares. X plus 2, x minus 2. Next up, that's 3 terms where the number out in front is what? 1. So now you can do 2 numbers that multiply to 8 but add to 2. Hey, and again, if you're struggling, you guys know what this side should be equal to. Start using this to your advantage. I already have an x plus 2. I already have an x minus 2. All right, I already have an x minus 2. I already have an x plus 2, but I need 2 of them. What do you think is going to be left here? Right? If I've been doing this correctly. X minus 4 and x plus 2. If you couldn't figure out the numbers that multiply to 8 and are 2 apart. All right, now finish it because this still doesn't look like the right side. How many x plus 2's do I have up here? 2 of them, so that's how I got x plus 2 all squared. X minus 2, x minus 4, and look at us. Matches my right side. Okay, I'll ask you that next Wednesday on the quiz. I'm sure there'll be an algebraically prove. Yep. Number 3. Okay, any GCF? Nope. How many terms? 4, right? Okay, so usually that means grouping to me. All right, you ready, everybody? Oh, boy. What happened here in this first one? Can you take anything out? No, you can't, right? All right, and all right, we didn't face a problem like this. So right away, if I group it and I can't take anything out, you can always rearrange them so you can take something out. So everyone see, I can't take anything out of this right here. That's a problem. Okay, that's a problem. So instead, maybe don't start with what I gave you. Instead, rearrange them so you can take something out. If I start with x squared, what could I put next to it so I could take something out? Okay, minus cx. I could also put plus ax next to it, right? And then let's put the other two together that are left over, right? Minus AC plus AX. You can always rearrange them. Now let's see if grouping can work. Ready? What can you take out of the first grouping? X, X minus C. What could I take out of the next grouping? An A. Well, let's see. Okay, I just take out a positive A. Not a negative A, a positive A. What's left over now? Negative 1C plus X. Now, some of you may argue with me. Wait a second. What's inside the parentheses is not the same. That's what you're going to argue with me. Or is it? What's the sign on this X? Plus or minus? What about this? Okay, ready? Stay with me. What's the sign on this C? And what about that one? Isn't this the same thing? At what's inside the parentheses is the same. It is. All right, it is. It's just written backwards. All right, so let's finish grouping now. X minus C, or you could have written negative C plus X. And then what's left? Oops. What's left for the other parenthesis? X plus A. All right, so if you can't group right away, try to rearrange it. We won't see that too much, but I'll make life easy on you and make sure you can group it right away. It's the grouping I care about. Anything else you want to throw at me here? Because again, we're done factoring. Guys, this is how the course works. I don't have time to go back and go, oh, remember this method? How do I approach this? I don't have time. It's got to be, boom, difference of two perfect squares. We're rolling. All right, the train can't stop because I got to show you the new stuff. I got to start the unit today. And everyone all right? We don't have time in here now to review the different methods of factoring. If you want to come in on your own during my free periods or after school, that's when it's going to happen. All right, but not during class. We don't have the time anymore. Train doesn't stop. Okay, so some of you might want to stop off at guidance and get off. All right, if this is going too fast for you. Any other questions or comments before we get going? Okay, if you do have your calculator, you might want to use it today. If not, that's fine too. Here we go. It's not a long day. All right, I think we're going to have some time at the end of class for you guys to actually open up a textbook and start some problems on your own. We're going to start dealing with fractions today. Okay, fractions. Have you guys ever heard of this term right here? When a fraction is undefined. Undefined? Anybody know when a fraction is undefined?
When you graph it.
When I graph it?
I've heard it in fractions.
Okay, gotcha. Yep. Good. Jeremy? Okay, here you go. Ready? You don't have to do it on yours. Just watch mine. I go 9 divided by 0. Calculator's going to tell me get a life. It's not happening. Okay, you cannot divide by 0. If you try to divide by 0, that's an undefined fraction. So here's what I'm looking for you guys here in these first 4 problems. Can you give me a value for x that makes the fraction undefined, aka 0 in the denominator? Okay? What value could I plug in for x that would give me 0 in the denominator? That's what I'm looking for here. The whole denominator is equal to 0. So let's start with number 1 because that's probably the easiest of all of them. If I plug in 1 for x, what am I going to get on the bottom? 1. Okay, 1 squared, right? That's not going to give me 0. That's okay. What number could I plug in for x right now that's going to give me 0 in the denominator? 0. Everyone agrees 0? All right, so x equals 0. That's not too bad. And if you want to try it out on your calculator, take a look at mine. You guys, and I go by this slowly because I don't know who you had last year and what they showed you. Do you know how to get the fraction template up on your calculator? Alpha y equals number 1. And if you cannot get that on your graphing calculator, you have to come see me ASAP so I can download another version onto your calculator. Watch, ready? 5 divided by 0 squared. Undefined. Okay, so that's how you can check that you picked the right value. All right, what about 2? 2's not that bad either. If I plug in 0 for x, will that make it undefined? No, it'll be -6. That's okay to have in the, you can have negatives in the denominator. So what do you think? What number could I plug in for x that makes that undefined?
6.
6, right? 6 minus 6 is 0. Done. Everyone all right on this concept of undefined before I take it to our level right now where we need to be? Got to have 0 in the denominator. All right, number 3. Ooh, boy, this one's a little bit tougher, huh? I can't just, it's not, everyone agrees number 3, it's just not as easy as looking at the denominator and just picking a number. I'm not even too sure here. And I'm not going to just start throwing out numbers and trying them out. I'm going to do this mathematically. Here you go. First, do I care what's in the numerator? Don't even look at it. I could put a darn happy face up here. It doesn't matter. Don't look at it. It's when the denominator equals 0. So here's my denominator. X squared plus x minus 20. And I want to know when it's equal to what? So that's what I'm going to do. When is this equal to? 0. Now I start my factoring. This is why we worked so hard the last 2 days. How many terms?
3.
3. What's the number out in front?
1.
Let's factor. I don't have time to show you again, though. That's the thing. We got to be boom. 2 numbers that multiply to 20, 1 apart. Oh, relax. I'm calling on somebody. All right, I'm not scaring you, trying to scare you. I'm just trying to show you. This is how this course goes. I don't have time to review this anymore. We did this on Thursday, Friday. 2 numbers multiply to -20, but are 1 apart. Here we go. Get my numbers out. Boom, 19, not even here. 1 job. Be here. Sarah? Great job. +5, -4. You're on board. That's how I factor that one. Now I need to go an extra step. What's the value of x for each of them? Now we go back to Algebra 1 days in 9th grade. I don't know how you guys did it. I draw a line in between the parentheses. Remember setting each of these equal to 0 and solving? So let me go a different color here. X plus 5 equals 0. X minus 4 equals 0. And then you solve for x. And some of you guys don't need to show me. I don't need to see this. Some of you guys know, just flip the sign. Some of you guys may remember that. Just flip the sign. So one value of x that makes it undefined is -5. The other value, +4. So there's actually 2 values here. And both are correct. That make it undefined. Questions? Comments? All right, you ready to go up now? Number 4. Do I care about the numerator? I know it's very tempting because you can factor it too. Don't even look at it. Don't even sniff it. Done. If I see undefined, I am focused on the denominator. Ready? X cubed minus 16x. When is it equal to 0? Okay, get your factoring game out. Let's go, let's go, let's go. Thoughts on what to do? I know you see a 16 there, but don't get too excited. What are we doing here first? Well, actually, I'll just ask you guys. I got to figure out who knows what here. Boom, 3, not here. Yep. 16, don't have one. We're on fire today. Let's go. Sarah, back to you. Yeah, you do. Where do we always start the factoring journey? No matter what the problem looks like. GCF. Thank you. If you're asked to factor, guys, remember, you always start with GCF. Is there one, Sarah? Yeah. What is it? It's an X, right? I could take out an X. So everyone take out an X. What's left, Sarah? X squared minus 6. Okay, that should light some eyes up at this point in the year now. No, you relax. You had your opportunity there. All right, so I took out a GCF. Now it's like, oh, you know what? I'm a factoring stud, and I know I got to keep going. X squared minus 16. What do you got for me? 11. God, should have rearranged these numbers better. I wanted everyone sitting up front. Clara.
x minus 4x plus 4.
Darn right. Keep the x coming, though, everybody. Don't forget about it. X, and then x plus 4, x minus 4. Great job. Equals 0. What's up,
Will you
boss?
take off points if you don't bring the x down?
I won't, but you're going to see right now in a second, Eric, it's going to be part of my answer. All right, you guys may only think you're going to have 2 answers, but there's actually 3 here. Okay? All right, here we go. X minus 4 turns into x equals, what's one answer? Positive 4. X plus 4 turns into x equals? Negative 4. And this is why I just told Connie, I would like you to bring down the GCF because that's not your only 2 answers. If you took out a GCF of a variable, you need to set it equal to 0 as well. So there's another answer, x equals 0. So there's 3 answers here. 4, negative 4, and 0 would make it undefined. A quick little math tip. At the very beginning, what was the highest exponent up here?
3.
How many answers you end up having?
3.
What was the highest exponent up here?
2.
How many answers you have?
2.
There you go. Okay, whatever the highest exponent is of what you're factoring, that's how many values you should have at the end. Every time. All right, everyone good with undefined? Because that's all the time I'm going to spend on that. No issues? Going. You don't have to write it down, but back in, I think probably elementary school, maybe 4th, 5th grade, you guys did something like this. 15 over 35, reduce that fraction. Right? You found the biggest number that went into both. You reduced it, right? Do you know your calculator does this automatically? Were you aware of that? Your calculator reduces fractions automatically. If I put 15 over 35 into a fraction template here, it reduces it for you. Okay, so just a heads up on that, so you don't have to think much on that. Now, that's exactly what we're going to do now, reduce fractions, but they're going to have variables in it now. Okay, now we're going to have variables instead of just plain numbers. So that's what simplify means. That's what simplify means. Reduce it as far as you can go. All right, everyone ready for number 5? Because I want to get through these so you have enough time to practice on your own. All right, reduce the numbers out in front first. You got negative 2 over 8. Reduce it. If you need help, use your calculator. I don't care. That's what it's there for. All right, negative 2 over 8. Put it in a fraction template. It'll reduce it for you. What's negative 2 over 8 reduced down to? 7, Connor?
Negative 1/4.
Negative 1/4. So that's what I'm going to start out with. Negative 1/4. Reduce those numbers. Now it's time for the variables. How many x's do you have on top? 4 according to the exponent, right? You got 4 on top and how many on the bottom?
1.
What happens?
Cross out.
See ya! They're gone, right? They're gone. I got 4 on top, 4 on the bottom. They cancel each other out. All right, let's go to the y's then. How many on top?
2.
2. How many on the bottom?
4.
So when they cancel, how many y's am I going to be left with? 2. Where are they going to be located? On the bottom, because that's where you had the more of them. So how do I write it? 2 left on the bottom. Y squared on the bottom. I had 2 on top, 4 on the bottom. So the 2 on top cancels out with 2 on the bottom. So there's 2 left with my 4. All good? All right, that's basic. All right, something we're not going to see that often, unfortunately. 6. Sometimes before we reduce, you're going to have to do a little work before you reduce. All right, everyone see the exponent out in front. 2. 2x all squared. You guys got to take care of that for me first. I need your help. What is 2x all squared? That's what I need your help in. And the way we take care of it is you apply the exponent. And did you guys do any exponents last year? Maybe? I don't know. You apply the exponent to everything inside the parenthesis. So 2 squared. X raised to the? Okay, everyone take a look. I'm going to stop right now so you can breathe. Everyone see how that became 4x squared. 2 squared, x squared. All good? All right, you might need calculators here. I got to take care of that 3 right now on the outside. 4x squared, all raised to the third. Ready? So the first thing I'm going to do is not 4 times 3. Not 4 times 3. 4 raised to the third. That ends up being, oh boy. What do we, oh boy, that was all awkward, huh? 4 times 4 times 4. 64. Ready? X squared raised to the third. Anybody remember their exponent rules? No. That's when you multiply. When you raise an exponent to another one, you actually end up multiplying them. So x to the second raised to the third ends up being what, guys? X to the sixth. Now this is something you should be able to handle from number 5. So go ahead, see if you can handle that one on your own now. You got to clean up all the parentheses first. So 4 over 64, your calculator does it. So no issues there. And then how many x's on top, how many on the bottom, how many am I left with? All right. What are we left with here? 2's, Jeremy?
1 over 16 x 4.
Yep, good job. 4 over 64 reduces to 1/16. And then 2 x's on top, so cancel with 2 x's on the bottom. So therefore I'm left with 4 on the bottom. Got to take care of the parentheses first. All right, all good? All right, now on number 7, this is the first time we're seeing a problem with addition and subtraction. Okay? First, this really gets me fired up. Math pet peeve. Oh, x squared, it's got an x squared, I'll cancel them. Oh, that's got an x and that's got an x, I'll cancel. No, you won't. You won't. Anytime you have addition and subtraction in the problem, you just can't start raking stuff out. But what you can do when you have addition and subtraction, you guys have been in this class the last 2 days, most of you. What do you think I'm going to have you do? What's it look like you can do to the top and to the bottom? Darn right, factor. So if you have something, if you're adding or subtracting while reducing the fraction, you want to try to factor everything you possibly can. Let's start with the top. What can you factor on the top, or how can you factor the top? Come on, you got this. Go through all your methods. Start with the very first one. 16 will be on fire today. 3, oh, great. 17, Sarah, back to you. GCF. An X, great job. What's left?
7
Awesome. Everyone all right? Took a GCF. That's where you always start. Take a GCF out. And what about the bottom now? X squared minus 10x plus 21. 3 terms, number out in front is 1. Let's go, let's go, let's go. This is not a grouping one. Find 2 numbers, find 2 numbers. You got this. Clara.
-3 and -7.
Awesome. Great job. Thank you. All right, we're good. Any issues? So you factored what you can. Now look to cross out what's the same. All right, so let's talk. All right, the rule is you can cross out a numerator and a denominator, okay, that are the same. So some of you right now are like, ooh, First of all, what do you think? Can I cross off these x's? No, because that's got a minus sign. You can't do that. These go together. If you're going to cross off one, you got to cross off everything. And I can't do that. So absolutely not. All right. Now, here's where some of us are freaking out. You really want to go 7 minus x, x minus 7, right? You really want to do that. Are they the same? No, they're not. Pretty close, though, right? Are they pretty close? Okay, so let's talk. They're not the same. You're right. They're not the same. What's the sign on the 7 here? Positive, and down here. So they're opposite each other, right? What about the sign on this x? Negative, and how about the sign on this x? So basically what you guys are telling me here is these bad boys right here are opposites of each other, right? The signs are opposite. Yes? Okay. Quickly, some quick math here. -6 divided by 6. -1. 2 divided by -2. 80 divided by -80. What am I trying to show you guys? Anytime you divide opposites, what are you left with? So take your pen and pencil right now. Yeah, we can cross them out, but you better be left with a -1 in the top or the bottom, but not both. Okay? So when you cross opposites out, you are left with a -1. All right, let's see what we're left with. What's left on the top? What did I not cross out on the top? An x and the -1. So I end up with -x or -1x on the bottom. What did I not cross out on the bottom? Or I left on that on the top, sorry. On the bottom, what am I left with? X minus 3. Can you cross off those x's? Unless you want your hand detached from your arm by me, no, you're not, right? Okay, that's as far as I can go. I cannot cross off the x's because of that minus sign that's connecting the x and the 3. All right, so cross off what's the same, and also look for opposites that you can cross off but be left with a -1. So that's as far as I can go. Questions before we get to the last one, and I'll let you go on your own after. Everyone's all right? Okay. Let's take care of the top first. Now look, this is, I know some of you, hey, whoa, stop. Everybody stop. I know what's going to happen. Because of number 6, you guys are going to start pulling this on me. What's it got in between them? A minus sign, right? Subtraction. Did these have subtraction in between them? No, so I cannot do that. I can't do that. But what I'm going to have you do is, and I think a lot of you guys will understand this very easily. If I have a squared out in front, how many times does x minus 1 happen? So rewrite it twice then for me. Okay, if you see that with the subtraction, hey, I know x minus 1 is happening twice. How about the bottom? Good, GCF. Yeah, what is it?
2.
Take it out. Everyone take out a 2. I'll ask somebody what's left. So I rewrote the x minus 1 twice because the squared said it's happening twice. I took out a GCF of a 2, so now what am I left with? Jeremy?
1 minus x.
1 minus x. Great job. Everything is factored now. Now you look to cross out. Here's the fun part. Is anything exactly the same? Well, can I do this? X minus 1, x minus 1? No, remember my rule. One's got to be on top, one's got to be on the bottom, so that won't work. It doesn't look like anything matches, but anybody see anything? Yeah, x. I want to make sure we're clear on why at least these two here, or I could have circled this one too, are opposites. What's the sign on the x?
Positive. Negative.
Negative, right?
Negative.
-1.
Positive.
Both of them are opposite signs. All right, so yes, cross them out. But, you can't just cross them out and leave them. Or I can. What do we talk about?
Negative.
If you're going to cross out the opposites, you're left with a
Negative.
-1. Does it matter where you put it? Nope. Anybody have a preference where to put this one? You want to put it in the denominator this time? So because it's just the 2 there, that's fine. All right. All right, so what's left on top? X minus 1. What's left on the bottom? Not 2 minus. Remember, this is multiplication, right? This is all good mistake. This is multiplication, so -2. If you decide to leave the -1 on top, watch. This also would be an acceptable answer. Negative, because you got the -1, x minus 1 over 2. That would have been an acceptable answer if you left the -1 on top. Okay? Last thing I want to show you, then you can, questions? Go ahead.
Can you put parentheses when you write the answer? Like, you know how it's x minus 1 parentheses, so you have to write the parentheses?
What would you want to write instead?
Well, with the parentheses. Like it's x minus 1 over -2. Would you create parentheses around?
Oh, here?
Yeah.
No, I don't care. That's fine. Yeah, that's correct. All right, before I let you go, I just want to show you a common mistake with opposites. Are those two opposites? Are they opposites? Somebody tell me why they're not.
Both of the x's are positive.
Both x's are positive. Both parts have to be opposite. The 3's are opposite, but these are not. So that you could not cross these off and say it's equal to -1. Okay, both terms need to be opposites. All right, you ready to go? Okay, I know there's more notes, but this is a 2-day topic. If you guys go to page 11 right now, you're not going to do the full thing. You're only going to go up to 15 through 19 odd. That is where you stop. Okay, do not continue on for the rest. That's for tomorrow. Okay, so page 530, number 2, and then the other page 533, all the way up to 5 through 19 odd. That's where you stop tonight. All right, so textbook, online textbook. Let's get going. Ask me questions. Jeremy.
Can I check that one with this?
Right now or for good?
Or the-
What's that?
right
Right now, you're gonna put it back at the end of. I'm just asking because I'll write it down if you're gonna take it for good.
now. Yeah, like after the end of the year.
Okay, so you're gonna take it for the rest of the year.
Yeah.
So you're taking it out of the classroom. All right, let me just. Okay, make sure you write your name on the inside cover in case it gets lost somewhere.
Can I borrow one for the period?
Go ahead, right here. Remember, the answers are up on Classroom. Ask me if you have questions, guys, please. Great time to call me over and I can help you out.